What's up, everyone? You haven't seen me like this in a while. Of course, you've seen me on the podcast. I've never been, one who chooses not to show his face. You've seen my face plenty of times. Last time I did something like this, though, like where you see me like this, is probably back when Dying Light 2 came out. This is just a new scrappy addition to the whole ever-growing scrappiness of what I do here. I mean, look, this isn't something new. I was still making videos on my phone less than a year ago. It wasn't until the Darkness 2 video that I actually started fully editing on my computer. So let's just go to it. I mean, occasionally I do hauls, unboxings, stuff like that. This is going to be that kind of thing. I've got a new idea for a potential intro for this stuff, which I already have my current intro. Potential ideas like movies, comics, video games, and everything in between, and like do a little cool thing with that. We'll see where it goes. It may or may not be in effect when this comes out, but we'll see. So I'm going to start it off with this. I never been like super into comics. I mean, when I was younger, my dad gave me a few, and I had a few. Some were in good condition, some were not. I think something happened to them, and they all got damaged, and I'm not sure. I think I had to throw them all away or something to that effect. But when I was younger, I didn't really want to read. As the years went on, I got more into books and audiobooks and some graphic novels here and there and so on. And I had some back then. I have some Simpsons graphic novels, actually. They won't be in this, but they're in storage right now. Something I'll probably return to. But yeah, it'll be interesting. This is going to be kind of a haul. I went to the WNC Comic-Con recently. Been stopping at some recent stores. It's actually kind of cool to like go and grab a new comic that comes out every month or like every week or something new. I think that's really cool. But let's get into it. Like this one right here, this is going to be stuff that I have already read currently in my collection that's not Geiger. Geiger's what's behind me. Geiger's probably like my favorite comic right now. It is so awesome. I mean, it's like radioactive Ghost Rider type thing, but it's like Man with No Name, Clint Eastwood Western kind of thing. But in this post-apocalypse, it's just cool. It's really cool. Definitely go check it out. It has like 6 issues, which you can get in a volume 1. 2 new issues in the new series. I think there's an 80-page giant or something that I want to check out. But we'll start it off with Backlash, which is a comic that I've never heard of. I've known nothing about. I grabbed it for $1 at this local comic shop. And it's a pretty cool one. I actually enjoyed it. I'd like to check out some other ones. It's pretty interesting. I think it's like the 7th issue, I think, when I looked it up, somewhere around there. Another one I grabbed for $1 is the Dark Reign series, I guess. Dark Wolverine. I don't know what issue it is. Surprisingly good. It actually surprised me. Never really heard of that, but I said like I'm not like in the comic space that much. I've heard a lot more now than I am. Just kind of add this to my ever-growing escapades of nerddom. This one's actually pretty cool, and so the first 3 comics that I actually bought my entire life. This was one of the first 3. I bought these from a place local as well, but not the place that I was mentioning prior. And it's this comic for Ghost Rider, which was a little bit on the pricier side for at least comics that I bought. It was like $10. Really cool art and everything. I don't know if that was like a special one. It's really cool. It's by, I think the artist is Tex. Really awesome. It's a really cool one. The first one I read too. Very, very good. Let's see. Then we got, this is the other of the first 3 that I picked up. And it's another Ghost Rider. With Mephisto on the front. It's another Tex artwork. This one's a little bit older, I think. This was 1991. I think this other one, does it say what it was? It's also 91, it looks like. I know some of them don't say what year they were. But you can kind of look into them. Some of them are new, some of them are old. Those are a little bit older, in the 90s. This one's like 2010, I think, which is a Deadpool team-up with Frankencastle. That one's very like, it's really short, entertaining. Definitely, it's an interesting, like, goofy little addition. But that was a cool one to grab. That was my first 3. Those were. This is actually one. It's not that old. I think 2016 might be that. It's one of the variant covers for City of Bane. I believe this is issue 1. I actually read that today, as of recording this. And it's one I picked up from the WNC Comic Con. That was pretty cool. And by the way, the WNC Comic Con was the first one I ever went to. I mean, it was $5 to get in. Stuff ever. I mean, that was cool. It was cool. I got a pretty cool piece of art that I'll actually probably show off on Twitter or something. That I've showed a few friends on my Discord and stuff that I'll definitely let everybody see because it's really fucking cool. There's also this, which is among the Geigers and the Rooks of the world, which is Redcoat. And this is the second printing cover. They all have that yellow and black kind of design to them. This is another one by Ghost Machine, like I said. This is the first one. They just came out recently with the second one. I just recently finished. Dude, it is so good. If you like Revolutionary War, you'll like it. And then where I am so far, it goes kind of like Revolutionary War into the early or like late 1800s. So it's really cool. It's a very interesting concept of a guy who messes with the magic of the founding fathers and can no longer die. Well, he can die, but he doesn't stay dead. Well, that's an interesting concept of a thing, and that's pretty cool. I still gotta read Rook. You'll see that soon in here. Let me put these back in here. Those are the ones that I have read so far. That not counting Geiger, because I've read a few of the Geiger comics so far. I went and bought the entire collection of Geiger. I actually bought the first issue of the 2024, so that'd be volume 2. And I liked it so much, I went and got issue 2, and then I went and got all 6 volume 1 issues. I thought about buying volume 1, but they didn't have it, so I was like, screw it. I will just buy all 6 issues. I still need to get the 2 prequel issues and the 80-page mega, which I don't know much about the 80-page giants or megas or whatever they're called. I guess that's just like a thing that's just expanding the world outside of those. I don't know. I don't know anything about this kind of stuff. Like I said, I'm new to the comic world. I mean, it's kind of interesting to be new to it because like I've always been so engrossed and just, you know, knee deep into stuff like video games and movies my entire life. And I'm following them like very closely, but now getting into comics, it's a whole nother ball game, and I'm pretty interested in that that whole ball game. Okay, now we're gonna move on to just go ahead and get that one out of the way too. Since I read those, I'm gonna move on to the ones I got from my dad, which some of them I actually did read, just to check them out before I give them to him, and some of them I haven't that are more recent. So we'll start in the back, since those are the ones I have read. Which the first one, which is also the only Constantine comic that I've read, it's actually a pretty cool one. It even has a fold-out section and stuff. But it's Constantine, Dead in the Streets. Part of the New 52. I think it's book number 2. That was another one that was $1. I mean, here's the thing. Compared to video games and movies and stuff, comics are cheap, man. I mean, I get it. Some of them takes you 5 minutes, 10 minutes to read. Some of them are a lot bigger. Redcoat was like an 80-page, or no, 40, no, yeah, 40-page, which is a lot more than most. And, like, I get that, you know. Man, they're so cheap. It's so easy to, like, it's also so easy to rack up on, like, the amount of money you spend on it, though, easily. Next one is actually, I can't remember how much I paid for this one. Oh, like $8 or something, which is on the higher end, but I think it's because these are hard to get, which is the Pitt comics. So actually, Pitt is one that my dad really likes, and he had a few of them, some good, some bad condition that he gave me. And I don't know if Pitt number 1 was one of them. I think it might have been, but either way, this is the first issue that I'm getting him. The place where I got it actually just recently went and got another issue that they had there, which was not issue 2, like another one in the series. I don't know which one it is. I'm sure it might say somewhere, but I didn't get that. So, you know, whatever. That's awesome. I actually did read that, and Pitt issue 1 is phenomenal. It's really good. And then there's this one, which I got him, which this is the other copy that they had at the same place. Which is Pitt. Oh, this one actually, these actually do say what number they are. So this is actually Pitt number 3. Here we go. Hard to get lined up, but this is Pitt issue number 3. So I got him issue number 1 and issue number 3. which is the only ones they had. They had like 6 copies of issue number 1 and then 1 copy of issue number 3, which I went ahead and grabbed. And then at the WNC Comic Con, I also found him issue number 5. Which I guess the person selling this either didn't care or didn't know, because, like, I mean, issue number 1 was $8, issue number 3 were 10. These are harder to come by. This is the only pit that he had that I saw, I believe, and it was only $2. I think, yeah, he also had issue number 1, but he didn't have any other. He had issue number 1, and he had issue number 5. So, I mean, that was $2. That was pretty awesome. That's pretty cool. I have not read this one. The only out of all these I've read is Pitt and Constantine. The only ones I've read. And then the other one I got for him, which I know he's really going to love this, is Radioactive Man. That's pretty cool, because I didn't know that they made those. Like, it's an actual Radioactive Man comic. It's funny. It says, I think this one came out in, when did it come out? 94, I believe. Yeah. Radioactive Man. He's a big Simpsons fan, as am I. So that one's that one's a pretty cool one. Pretty cool. Let me get these back in the order here. I put those over here. Gonna make sure I can remember what's what. Okay, let's move on to my Geiger collection, I guess. Why not? A lot more in this one. So we got the 3rd printing of Geiger number 1 of volume 1, so the original. It was cheap. It was $5, you know. Really good. Oh man, it's good. It's good. They're so good. I'm not even joking. They're good. They're really good. And then we have Geiger issue 2, which was a little bit more expensive. I think that was the reason this one's more expensive is because it's actually the original printing, the Gary Frank art, not an alternate or other printing cover. And all the other ones I have, all issue 2 through 6, are all the original cover versus the alternate. The difference was $5, so it's like one was 10, one was 5. I was like, you know what, I should just get the originals. They didn't have any of the originals of the first one. I don't think. I didn't see them. I don't think. If they did, I will go back and I will get it, and I will give someone else that one, because I'd like to have them all, because I think they all have a gritty feel that really fits the comic. This is issue 2, a little bit better than the alternate covers do. And this is issue, or actually that was issue, I don't know which one I said that was, but that was issue 3. This is issue 4. This is actually where I am. I have not read this one yet. This is where I am right now. I read all 3 of those. I have not read this one. So I'm excited to get around to that. Of course, I told you I bought them all, so I also got issue 5. And I got issue 6. Ironically, it costs $6. And then, of course, I have issue 1 of the 2024 series, which is the, goodness, 2nd printing. That's where I started, was right here. Man, was it a good start. And I have issue 2. Issue 3 is not out yet. I don't know how many issues they're planning for this one. Probably like 6. I think they have 6 ones, like, planned releases coming out on their website. But dude, go check out Ghost Machine. Go check out everything that they're doing. Check out their whole idea as a company. It fits well with, like, kind of what was going on with Image Comics back when they came out. And ironically, as someone who has not really been that into comics, I did know about Image and their kind of history. I mean, I knew about Spawn and stuff like that. So it's like I'm, you know, not aware of that or anything. And very much so am. Like I said, I've always been a more passive observer of the comic world, and mostly my interest came from watching these movies and playing these games around these characters and wanting to know more. Speaking of Spawn, though, since we're mentioning all that, I actually just today as well, while I was at that comic store, picked up a copy of Monolith. Even teasing Monolith 2. An interesting thing that you can see about this fella right here, which is Monolith, he looks like if Spawn and Doomsday had a baby. And this is the first issue of a spin-off Spawn series that's part of the New Spawn universe. And this is also going to be a short story, like a short story, a short series, limited series. I don't know what they call it. So it says right here in the top corner, 1 of 3. The next one comes out in June. I'm assuming after that, July. It looks awesome. I've yet to check it out, but I will be checking it out very soon. Looks badass. I mean, Spawn always looks badass, right? So of course it looks badass. I got this for my son at the WNC Comic Con. It's by ACRC Comics volume, and this is volume 1. It's made by Brandon DeTwiler and Justin Dunn. It was actually, ironically, it wasn't ironic. I don't know what I'm saying right now. I'm having a meltdown mentally. It was signed to my son by the writer, which is, I mean, honestly, that's cool. I don't think he'll appreciate it until he's older, but it's a cool little, kind of kids comic. Very interesting. I like it. That's pretty cool. Put these off to the side here. Like 2 bags of stuff. There's also like an older gentleman who was selling a ton of comics. A lot of them relatively cheap. Some of them pretty expensive. I mean, he had them going back to like the 50s all the way to the 80s. But I don't think there's anything newer than that. Sadly, not a lot of people were checking out his section. I honestly wish that I would have bought more than I did. I ended up buying one comic because most of them were like, they're very weathered and aged. None of them were in any kind of coverings or anything like that. I wish I would have got some from the 50s, even if I had to pay $20 for them. Just because, whatever. I mean, I really wish I would have. I really wish I would have. But either way, this is the one that I got. It's the Saga of the Swamp Thing. It looks really cool. I mean, it's easily the oldest comic that I own. Easily. Even smells old. It's really cool, though. It's 1984. That's definitely the oldest one I have. Weathered. Got some character, though. You can tell this was that man's personal collection that he's slowly getting rid of, as people do, I grabbed a few others, and here's another thing. I hate that this guy did this, though. Like, he used masking tape for the back of the... Why didn't you use regular scotch, like everybody else? Anyway. I'm not basing my purchases of any of this stuff off of anything. Like, I'm just grabbing shit that looks cool. I'm like, hey, that looks fucking cool. I'm buying it. Like, I'm not going to pay a stupid amount of money for something, but it's like, that looks cool. I'm buying it. Chances are, if it looks cool on the outside, I'm probably going to like what's on the inside. If I don't, oh well. But to me, this looked cool. I don't know. Maybe the comic sucks. I don't know. But it's the only one I have other than the Deadpool one that has Punisher in it. And it's Punisher $20.99. I mean, look at that cover. There's actually another one with a similar cover that also is cool. I wouldn't say it's the most amazing, but we'll get to it in a second. This one also looks very good. Is a G.I. Joe comic. I like G.I. Joe, man. My dad bought me G.I. Joe toys as a kid. I watched the cartoon, animated series, whatever, and G.I. Joe's cool. I like G.I. Joe. Let me get these all out together because it's like a series. I don't even know how many there are, but I bought the first 3 issues, which is part of the American Mythology Productions, and it is Night of the Living Dead Kin 1 through 3. They look cool. I'm a zombie person, in case you didn't know. I guess, right? So I was like, why not? Why not? And so my only experience with Bloodshot was the Bloodshot movie. And so I was like, well, they have Valiant Comics. They have Bloodshot. They had Bloodshot. It might be one of the worst comics ever. Obviously came out at the time when they were using a lot of flashy covers, but like the flashiness and the coolness of the cover is what sold me. So, I mean, why not? In my opinion, why not? I think this one says 93, roughly. It says, has a little stamp at the bottom. We're going to say 93. Why not? Yeah, let me put these back. I'm going to keep Monolith out because I got to read that after. I got to figure out how to organize all these things. There's so many. Okay. And I got to start reading them. Some of them, man, like I said, take a few minutes to read. Some of them take longer. But I was talking about Rook earlier. It's the other Ghost Machine series. You've got Geiger Volume 1, the beginning of Geiger Volume 2. You got Rook, and you got Redcoat. And then they have a 80-page giant, I think, that's called Ghost Machine, which is just like all the universes connected, I guess. There's another second printing. I kind of like. I don't know what the first printing looked like, but that's what they had. And I think the black and yellow is kind of cool. So. We also have At War with the Weird, Doom Patrol. I don't know how old Doom Patrol is, but I can tell you that Doom Patrol looks very old. Maybe that's the idea. But from this, it says October 04, so it's 2004. It's not that old, but it looks like, purposely, I assume, like a 50s comic. And then we have The Darkness, cover B, the landmark anniversary issue, number 75. My first Darkness comic. I actually have another one that I just now realized I didn't bring here with me. I have this one, which is Max Comics Blade number 3. Big Blade fan, and like it didn't look like a whole bunch of like great ones. I don't know how hit or miss Blade series is. My experience has been with the movies and some video game related stuff. But I did see the Daughter of Blade series. I think the whole series probably there. So I'm thinking about checking that out at some point after I read these. Another one is not Max, but it's a 2007 issue. It Takes One to Kill One Blade. There's no more Mr. Nice Guy. Both of these have very weird art styles that I don't know really how to feel about, but they still seem interesting. I also got a Lobo comic, which says it's Lobo issue 2 from 1994. Lobo came to my knowledge. I mean, anything I knew about him came from Injustice. Before that, I didn't know who he was. I maybe saw him in something prior, but not much. Then here's this one, Venom Lethal Protector. I think it's issue 3. I thought it looked cool because he's sitting there holding a Gatling gun. They don't even have a Gatling gun in the issue. Damn. That's still pretty good, though. I enjoyed it. I did actually read that one. I don't know why I don't have in the other thing. I'm in the wrong bag. And that actually pretty much does all that. I'm not gonna grab the other one. I'll put a picture on Twitter or something. But the other comic that I forgot to bring in here is actually Witchblade number something, which is the first issue of the Darkness. Technically, it's the first time the Darkness came into be. It's considered the first Darkness, I guess, in the Witchblade. So that's cool. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you guys for checking out this stupidly large collection of comic books, in my opinion, that I've recently collected in the last few weeks. So yeah, yeah. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. It's something different, something new. Why not? See you guys later.